in all aspects, whether or not you're a good or bad father, I strongly believe can only come from your child.
Thank you.
Whether or not you're a good or bad lover, I strongly believe can only come from the person you love.
The person in that bond with you. Thank you.
That's just my thoughts. But it's fascinating to see a successful woman, two successful men, think so differently. Hey.
But guess what? Right and wrong is relative.
And I'm not saying they're wrong. That's why I said differently.
It's the umpteenth view. Welcome in, my baba. People love you. I said I love you. Okay, that's enough. Tis I, Just Henry. Should I say it again? Tis I, Just Henry. Tis I, Just Henry. The original, the one, the only, the always ready to be multicultural. All right? This is the umpteenth view. And this is the good cousin.
Who is which one? I know you're going to explain that. Because if you're not going to explain that, I got to ask the people. Well, I got to tell the people why you did it. Why you hit us with the Lion King remix?
Because I wore a dashiki.
So you came over here with a plan to take the people to the promised land.
I promise you, the song was impromptu. All I did was put the shirt on, and I'm in there. We are in the savannah. Everybody pay attention. Where is the lion? The lion is always in my heart. I am a lion. I am practically a griffin. If you know what a griffin is, that is a lion and eagle together. Okay, I'm so sorry. Is that Greek mythology? I'm so sorry. Wrong continent. Wrong continent. Okay,
no, that's so good. I needed that laugh. Because if y'all hadn't seen it by now, we uploaded a video where just hearing it, he tilted my little boy in parenting, right? It's the highlight of my life. I had a blast watching it. Y'all definitely take a moment and go check that out. But I needed that one because this is a similar situation. This was not a similar situation. This is something that triggered me. And I'm still on the fence by how I speak about it because I don't want to be the type of dude that get turned up unless it's time to fight somebody to the death or something like that. So I try to keep myself calm. I just don't like
to be able to be of sound mind. Mm-hmm. We can have rational conversation, rational reactions to things. That makes perfect sense.
Like I say,
until it's time.
like I said, this video is from B. Simone and her co-host on her podcast, and this has been taken in another storm. Kind of upset some people. I was one of them. For a lot of reasons, but without further ado, we're gonna cut the introduction. We're gonna get into it. I don't know if Just Henry's seen the video. I've seen it at least. Oh, he's seen it. So they knew none. I've seen it a couple times. This will be a third time. In this video, be warned, we will be pausing the video, talking about select things because it is a conversation. So y'all stay tuned.
Maestro! Hold up. Hold up. Whew. All right, we good. Let's go. I had to check my vitals.
What the thing really is.
What's more important, the fact that Martin Luther King is the man that we see that fought for freedom, or the fact that he was cheating on his wife?
Jesus. So let's talk about what you was talking about, what you saw on social media today. How do we say that though?
Because it's so apparent that I don't want to say it to like point any directions or fingers.
I mean, it could be a broad topic. Like how do we start?
Okay, so what is more important, perception or reality?
For me, reality.
Okay.
Reality.
Okay, so
my reality is more important.
Your reality, not reality.
But that's perception.
Absolutely. But what I also like about this is that we were talking about perception and reality too.
Mm-hmm. We sure do. We go back and forth. But she is describing her perception.
Mm-hmm. That's why in a lot of cases when I try to have this conversation with people, I say actuality. versus reality.
Heard.
Because what's real to you may not be real to somebody. What actually happened is a different story. Like you hear people talk. It kind of came from listening to people when I was studying law school. They listen to people say this side and that side.
Yeah.
They're telling you two different things,
Yeah.
and they both saw them are real. And then the judge would be like, "Well, this is what actually happened. And we
Okay.
got footage."
Okay.
So that's where that came from.
Makes sense.
It all just your truth or your reality. I'm saying, like, what is more certain? What is more important, the perception of how we see a thing or what that thing really is? And I'm going to give you an example.
What the thing really is.
What's more important, the fact that Martin Luther King is the man that we see that fought for freedom, or the fact that he was cheating on his wife?
Jesus.
To begin, that is a terrible comparison.
I can't wait to give y'all the juice that I know about this. But let's keep going.
Okay, that is a terrible comparison. A terrible example. Like
Yes,
that's
very bad
one
example.
way over here and one over there. But let's let it keep going.
I think. Ooh. Oh no, move.
What's more important, because that is the reality
She
of
told
the
her
fact.
dog
He was
to
a
move.
great man who knew God's word, who led people to freedom. He was cheating on his wife. That is a fact. So what is more important? Is it more important that we see him as that man
Want me to pause it? Just say
Hit
pause.
pause.
gave that
Hit pause.
amazing
So, was it Lyndon Johnson
The president.
that was in place when Martin Luther King was?
I
was
think
ruling?
Lyndon. He ran. Was he the president? Or did he run FBI?
I think he was in for charge of FBI.
Okay.
So, fact of the matter is, Martin Luther King was public enemy number one.
Mm-hmm.
Why was he public enemy number one? Because what he was saying was empowering those that they wanted powerless. Therefore, let's shut up the power. Let's get this power source out of the way. What is the best way to start doing such? Let's discredit this person. It was fake. That is a hoax. Martin Luther King did not cheat on his wife. It was a ploy to discredit the man, done by the United States Secret Service, FBI, whomever the hell. All right.
Here's
Okay, go.
I don't know if it's a hoax. Hold on. I don't know if it's a hoax, but I did hear multiple accounts. My point being is I don't really care about it.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and I will express that later. But my point is, when they originally, you're 100% right. Where they found about when they came about the information, it was by accident because they was trying to find Don't Know the Man. So what they did, they put all these wire bugs in these places, and they weren't supposed to be there. So that's how they came about these affairs. I've seen rumors where they say it's Martin. And Coretta Scott King apparently identified by the sound of his moans or whatever. And then I've heard people say, well, that was somebody, is because he ran with a group of people. And that time, you're not, as a black man, you're not by yourself. And someone was in his room. They had no proof that it was actually him. So I've heard both sides of the story. So I do want to throw that out, which is interesting.
Very interesting.
I love it.
Because
But you're 100%
you can't
right.
base everything off of something that is alleged.
Mm-hmm.
Off of the man's moans, for real. Come on now. So therefore, that doesn't give me the, well, you know what? That doesn't even cause a pause in my movement towards this, or my conversation towards it. I need more than that. So as far as that precise point, and especially when she gave that emphatic fact, this is a fact.
That's that O'Shea Duke Jackson fake.
This is not real. You can't. You're already starting behind the curve, okay? And that's all I'm saying, because I've defeated you both already.
I got the victory.
I've thwarted you both like flies from my meal. Carry on, Maestro.
speech on that amazing day and led amazing people to freedom? Or is it important that we know, or is it important that we knew both?
I think it's both.
Obviously, I don't think so, but I will let it.
I don't agree with both either, because
let's let her give her a reason.
Please.
But that's hindsight. That's hindsight. You
to
see
me,
what I'm saying?
reality is more important. I think reality is important.
But
reality,
to you,
the
but
truth,
what's more
the
important
truth.
to the overall picture?
Fucking perception.
Thank you. it's more important
to me because outside of Martin Luther King.
Pause.
Okay, let me give you an example.
So if the perception is more important, according to her,
Than the truth.
then the perception of Martin Luther King, that he was a great man and that he's civil rights leader, is more important than if he did cheat on his allegedly cheating on his wife. That, am I wrong for that interpretation of what she just said?
No, I think that's spot on.
Outstanding.
By her own reason. But here's the fun part, which is why I'm gonna let her give her reason.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna hold what you said because we're gonna let her give her reason.
Let's go.
Example, he's a great father. He's a great father. He's a great father. He's a great businessman. He's a great CEO. He's an entrepreneur.
He's such a boss.
He's such a boss.
He's a boss.
Look at that man. He's a boss.
Look at him.
She's talking about the men in general. She wasn't talking about
black man.
Look at him being at his kid's game.
Look at him. He's a great father. He's a boss. He's a strong black man.
Look at him posting his wife.
growling.
Look at him.
Look at him.
On date night. Look at him.
But you're cheating on your wife. You're not a good husband. You're not a good communicator. You don't value her feelings. But he's great in all these other aspects. How are you a great leader, a great CEO, a great black man, a great father, a great leader in any aspect? You're not a great husband, a great communicator, a great...
You're a liar.
You're not great.
You're
not great.
You're a liar.
You're not great.
So that's my point.
You're not great.
So I posted this.
You're not great.
The other.
God, you're not.
Okay, so as you were saying, if perception was such, if the perception outweighed the truth, then now Martin Luther King literally contradicts her because people still view him like that.
Exactly.
But in her case, she's projecting her ideals of a spouse onto MLK. Here's why this is important. Nothing I've seen her Coretta Scott King speak poorly of the late Dr. King.
Right.
So therefore, what he does in this marriage,
the one woman
yes,
that is supposed to be able to corroborate this story doesn't do it.
it is not your place.
You
Your
have no
perception
land-
does
you got
not
no
matter.
leg to
He is
stand
not
on.
married to you. He has no fidelity
Right.
to you. Therefore, shove it out the door. Which is why I don't care, right? It don't care if you're cheating on his wife because Coretta Scott King didn't make me care.
Right.
Therefore, she shouldn't care.
Right.
But the point is, what she's talking about his greatness is because she's looking for that type of guy, and that's okay if you state that. But she doesn't. If she says, if I were in Coretta Scott King and this is what I was looking for, we as the audience have to accept that because she literally, so she's putting herself in that place. So she's not making some broad claim, some general claim with Martin Luther King. She's projecting, and we as the audience have to see that if we fail to do that, then we think that's her views on MLK,
Right.
which is what I don't think. I really think she's just saying, okay, this is what the men are. This is what the man, if this is where the man I'm looking for, if that makes sense.
In layman's terms, she is speaking out of her pain and her experience.
Yes, thank you.
She's actually put her love life a little bit on TV. She's been on a show where she and I think a girl named Pretty
Pretty Girl V. Both of them funny, both of them talented.
Where Pretty Girl was her little crony, her little bosom buddy there on the show, and she was just pooing on all of these men. Literal,
like the Love from Ray J type show.
Yes,
that's what that sounded like.
That's exactly what it was.
That's fascinating.
And therefore, comma, you're still single.
Yeah.
Therefore, comma, the men that you want they're not Martin Luther King. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. The men that you guys want, the modern women want, is not a Martin Luther King Jr. Not him. I'm just thinking you're speaking out of pain and anguish. And misery.
We gonna let Miss Simone continue to do her thing.
She really needs to shut up. That's just my personal
if y'all hadn't got the projecting and the using MLK to speak through, I guess, a bunch of men she don't see or aspiring levels or whatever the case may be. But we're gonna let her keep talking. I'm trying, y'all. I promise you I'm trying.
That is triggering.
Yeah, for
well,
sure.
I'm a good dad. You're not a good dad because you don't respect me. How the fuck you showing these kids you a good father and you don't respect their mother?
Because men can compartmentalize, and I can treat you separate, I would say, separate than how I treat my child. Doesn't make sense for me to treat you like a daughter, love you like a daughter, like being around you like my daughter. So your point is disproven.
And I've also heard a multitude of women that are divorced or baby daddy say he's great, he's a great father, he's a bad lover, right?
And for her, like she'll say it, for her, he's bad for me. Like just me, I would say the same thing with a woman. She's bad for me. B. Simone is, she is revered by many, okay?
Really?
She's got a lot of, yes.
Oh,
she's got a lot of followers online, people that love to hear what she says and how she says it. By all means.
She's charismatic for sure.
Carry on smartly. You are a business. You are a boss. Yeah, ran out of breath. But nonetheless, I love women like this because you are giving me more reason to stay away from you. Have a great life. It's all good. It's all good. See that? No sweat off my brow.
It's just a reflection of the light.
Just to, we got good lighting in here. We got good lighting in here, we pay the bills up in the truck. So, yeah, point disproven. I that's all I had to say. I'm good.
How are you a good father? You don't respect who brought them into this world.
Carried them.
You're not a great dad, my nigga.
Again, we just should.
Go ahead, please, because I know what I want to say.
Again, I think she has a fascinating perspective because I'm fascinated by it because she feels so adamant and
that she's so right.
Yes,
yeah.
You're bad to the wife, but you're great to the children, and they're synonymous.
So now you're a bad husband.
Yeah, that's not, bro. Like I just think
she just don't know the difference in hats.
If I were to divorce my wife today, Say-Ray still comes first. Say-Ray being my daughter,
right?
I don't care if it means I gotta run through. That doesn't mean I'm gonna kiss my wife's behind,
right?
To see my daughter. Like that in all aspects. Whether or not you're a good or bad father, I strongly believe can only come from your child.
Thank you.
Whether or not you're a good or bad lover, I strongly believe can only come from the person you love.
The person in that bond with you. Thank you.
That's just my thoughts. But it's fascinating to see a successful woman, two successful men, think so differently. Hey.
But guess what? Right and wrong is relative.
And I'm not saying they're wrong. That's why I said differently. I just said differently. I love stuff like this because I would sit down beside them and I have female friends who we just talk about stuff and I just love it. Because again, I think perception and actuality can take you so far. And it's always healthy to make sure, I guess, you understanding the difference. We're gonna continue.
Understand who you're dealing with, but anyway.
That's true.
You're an okay human.
You're present in the sense of,
I'm sorry, Jesus Christ, I just got worked. What did you put in this drink?
We know.
if I'm a good person to you, I posted this it's on my post and I posted it on my stories before, but someone being a good person to you means they're a good person to you. Someone being a good person to everyone means that they're a good person.
In general.
And that's my point. What is the consistency of your character? You cannot.
What's the matter?
I find it fascinating that you are able to use the very argument that would be used against you for you. because it's not working. She's mentioning that, okay, we've got a person, a human being, is good to one person. That person is only a good person to that one person. He's not a good person.
Because he's not nice.
Because he's not good to everyone. He's only good to that one person. But that one person could say that that is a good person.
Perception.
Which is crazy to be able to at least get somebody to say it. But yet and still it's negated. So then guess what I'm taking from that? That this singular person does not matter to people like her. So the view of that one person doesn't matter because the majority is what takes precedent. I don't agree. When I say it that way, I don't agree when I say it that way because of the sheer fact that the reason I'm saying it is to say that she's forgetting the person that is like a human being that has a position to be able to say this is a good person.
Here's what I think is contrary. In the sense, like not from what you're speaking,
no,
from
hit
her.
Me. Whatever you want.
Martin Luther King is generally received positively by the community. Like, B. Simone just argued that he was bad because he cheated on his wife. Not that his wife perceived him negatively.
Keep going. I know
where
you're going.
He cheated on wife.
I like it.
So now he can't be a good person if he's only good to this person. But the community sees him as a bad person.
Flip it on him because guess what? Now you have one person saying he's a bad man, he's a bad person, but we have the majority saying he's a good person. So guess what? He's a good person. So y'all need to shut up. You're saying that with your argument that Martin Luther King, like in godlike demigod fashion, surpassed being able to be looked at as a bad person because the common consensus says Martin Luther King was a phenomenal man.
What I love most about this conversation is that I think it is a great example of we got a video where the girl talking about why men don't worship women. And a lot of time we have, as you often speak about your mother, I have my mother, the millennials, they have prerequisites like women showing them how to move and do things. And when you have women nowadays who seem more sensitive to whatever the case, even if it's unjustified, why would you want to be around that? I feel so fortunate to meet my wife because if I was still on the street, I'm probably messing with a 30, 40. I would go find Vivica. Like I'm just gonna be not Vivica because of all the face stuff, but just someone of her generation. That's what I'm saying.
Because okay. Final thoughts. Yes, I love cougars myself. Their thought processes and the way they treat us men is completely different.
Actuality sets in.
I don't know what happened with their previous relationships, but I will take me a cougar. What? You got anything else, my good sir?
No, sir.
Well, this is the Umpteenth View, and I want to say I bid you adieu to you and you. And you, the little one in the back. Yes, thank you very much. Please subscribe, share, and like, and we will talk to you later. Okay?
You're gonna offend somebody. But you're coming to America accent, you're gonna offend
we will
somebody.
do this as often as possible because we are good people, okay? This is not Wakanda. This is the Umpteenth View. Thank you.
Oh,